Before dawn, the monastery is almost completely still. You hear a faint rustle of fabric, a soft step somewhere down a long corridor, the wind pressing lightly against stone. In a narrow cell, a young monk lies awake, staring into darkness. This is the life he chose: silence, order, distance from everything that once pulled at him. He came here to find peace, but lying there, he feels something else. His thoughts won't settle. They circle, return, press in again and again. Men like him actually wrote about this. They talked about sudden waves of heaviness, thoughts that refused to leave, a quiet kind of collapse that could arrive without warning. These men walked away from everything: family, ambition, noise, and still found something inside that they couldn't escape. And it leaves a question you can't shake. If you strip away every distraction, why doesn't the mind become calm? To understand that, you have to look at the world they left behind. Medieval life wasn't gentle. Most people were just trying to survive each day. Illness could sweep through a town without warning. Work was constant and physical. Streets were crowded, noisy, and often filthy. You'd hear animals, arguments, traders shouting, tools hitting wood and metal. Life wasn't fast like it is today, but it was far from slow. There was always something that demanded attention, something to fix, something to endure. And in that kind of world, your mind doesn't sit still. It's pulled outward constantly, reacting to whatever is happening in front of you. The monastery was the exact opposite. Inside those walls, you could barely hear anything. Sometimes there were long stretches with almost no talking at all. Thick stone walls blocked the outside world. Life followed a pattern that barely changed. Bells marked the day. Wake, pray, work. You just followed along. You woke when the bell rang. You moved when you were told. You spoke only when it was necessary. Everything about the place was designed to remove unpredictability. And here's the interesting part. Most of these men chose this life. They weren't forced. They left homes, families, normal routines, and stepped into something different. Not because it was easy, because it was clear. Fewer moving parts, fewer choices, fewer things tugging their attention in different directions. In a quiet way, the monasteries became experiments, not with equipment, but with the human mind. What happens if you strip life down almost completely? No noise, no constant change, no distractions. What's left in your mind when there's nothing to react to? It starts with structure. Every part of a monk's day was already decided. Before sunrise, a bell rang, and the day began in darkness. They prayed at fixed times, repeating the same words, the same order, every day. In between, there was work, real work, farming, carrying, copying texts by hand, maintaining the monastery. There was almost no room for personal choice. You didn't decide what to do, you followed the rhythm. At first, it seems restrictive, and it was. Almost no spontaneity. But that's the point. All those little choices you make every day, what to do next, what to focus on, what matters right now, they were gone, already handled. So the mind had less to juggle, fewer interruptions, fewer directions to split into. The day moved forward whether you felt ready or not. And here's the key. This wasn't meant to feel comfortable, not at first. It wasn't designed for pleasure. It was designed to remove variables. Because once the outside world becomes stable enough, whatever's going on inside your mind becomes easier to see. And that's when something unexpected appears. Silence doesn't calm the mind right away. Often it does the opposite. Without conversation, noise, or constant input, attention turns inward. It has nowhere else to go. And when that happens, you don't always find peace waiting there. Thoughts become clearer, but also louder. Small things you might have ignored start to linger. A memory comes back and hangs. A moment of regret feels sharper. You notice patterns in your thinking, loops you didn't realize were there. For the monks, this could feel intense, not dramatic, not chaotic, just steady, persistent. You're sitting in one place, doing one task, and your mind keeps drifting, coming back, drifting again. You try to focus, but something pulls you inward. Most expected peace. Instead, what waited was everything they'd been carrying all along. Regret could grow, doubt too. Small worries that would have disappeared in a busier life suddenly feel bigger. And without distraction, there's no easy escape. You can't just look at something else. You have to stay there. Over time, they described it more clearly, not as one emotion, but a pattern, a heaviness often in the middle of the day, a resistance to continuing even simple tasks. Time seemed to slow. Some monks wrote about watching the sun, waiting for it to move, feeling like the day refused to pass. It wasn't boredom. There was a quiet pull to stop, to walk away, to do something else. Monks in different places at different times described almost the same experience. They called it asia. It wasn't exactly sadness, more like restlessness mixed with emptiness, a feeling that made even simple things feel heavy. You could be doing your normal work, and suddenly you didn't want to continue. Focus slipped. Words stopped making sense. Everything felt distant. They noticed details, glancing at the door again and again, expecting something to happen, reading the same line repeatedly without understanding it, feeling stuck, not just in the room, but in their own mind. Time felt different, especially around midday, when everything seemed to drag. Some even felt the urge to leave, not because the monastery was wrong, but because staying felt unexpectedly hard. It wasn't dramatic, just a quiet, steady thought. Maybe this life isn't working. Maybe somewhere else would be easier. And again, it was common, not weakness, just what happens when the mind has nothing to lean on. Which brings you back to the question, if this life is meant to bring peace, why does the mind resist it? The monks didn't run from it. They stayed. When restlessness came, they returned to the pattern. Work, pray, repeat. Not because they felt like it, but because the routine held them steady when motivation didn't. Physical work helped. Repetitive tasks, digging, carrying, tending crops, gave the mind something solid to anchor to. Nothing exciting, nothing distracting, just steady. Even prayer wasn't always emotional. It was mostly repetition. Same words, again and again. There were no sudden breakthroughs, no single moment where everything changed. Instead, there was quiet endurance, day after day. Stay, continue, follow the rhythm. And the question becomes, does that actually do anything? Slowly, yes. Thoughts don't disappear, but they lose urgency. They still appear, but they don't pull as strongly. A worry that would have taken over a whole afternoon now passes faster. Emotions soften, not gone, just steadier. A low moment doesn't drop as far. Restlessness doesn't last as long. The mind becomes less reactive. It's not excitement, not constant happiness. It's quieter, a kind of stability, a steady emotional baseline. Thoughts and feelings are still there, but they don't overwhelm. Even the structure itself starts to feel different. At first, it was restrictive. Now it feels supportive.
not because it changed, but because the mind inside it changed. Repetition, once slow and tedious, becomes rhythm, something to move with instead of fight. And over time, it builds into stillness, not forced, not fragile, just steady. And it doesn't happen fast, not in days or weeks. It comes from staying long enough for the mind to adjust. So what actually allows the mind to settle? Limits, fewer choices, fewer paths to consider. The mind stops weighing possibilities. Repetition helps. Boundaries help. You know where you are meant to be, what the day expects. Very little uncertainty.
The world is small but stable. The mind has fewer places to scatter. It doesn't have to constantly adjust itself. And then identity shifts. Inside the monastery, you are already a monk. No audience, no comparison, no need to prove anything. Others around you are living the same life, not competing, just continuing. You don't need to present yourself, don't need to stand out. Your place is defined. And that changes something. Without constant evaluation, attention shifts. You stop thinking about appearances and start noticing experience. You stop adjusting to imagined expectations. Over time, it removes a kind of tension, the tension of trying to become something else. And the result? It isn't dramatic. It isn't constant happiness. Thoughts and emotions are still there, but they're quieter, steadier. A thought shows up, you notice it. You don't follow it. An emotion rises, you feel it, but it doesn't take over. There's space around them. That's their version of mental stability. Not the absence of thought, but freedom from being controlled by it. A steady baseline underneath everything else. It doesn't depend on comfort or feeling good, just consistency. And the last question, is this kind of peace only possible here, or is it about the way they stayed with their own minds? If you return to that small room before dawn, nothing has changed. Same walls, same cold air, same silence. But the monk is different. He's not fighting it anymore. His breathing is slower. Thoughts are still there, but they move differently. They don't circle as tightly. They don't demand attention. No dramatic moment, just a slow, quiet change over time. He didn't remove struggle. He stayed long enough for it to loosen its grip. And in that stillness, something steady took shape. Something that didn't depend on the outside world. Something that remained quietly underneath it all.